100% stacked bar chart here from step 6, and it's filtered down to just show the Social Security cards from the name Kelly from 1950 to 1959. Now, if we pull our year filter off, we get 1 bar per year in the data set, but it quickly gets hard to understand what's actually happening here because you have to keep scrolling. And if we try to look at all the years at the same time, we get this mess. Now, to see the big picture, we don't actually need to see a bar per year. A bar per decade would actually give us enough granularity to see shifts over time without overwhelming us. Now, we could go through and manually clump the years together by selecting the years and grouping them, but this is both time-consuming and static. Think about it. If we loaded the first decade from the 21st century, we would have to rinse and repeat our grouping steps for these new years. Here's what we'll use instead. It's something Tableau calls bins. When we click on the drop-down menu on year in the data pane and hover over create, we see the option bins. Here's what a bin does. It takes a continuous piece of data, like our variable year, something that lines up on a spectrum, and breaks that spectrum up into unified chunks. Age is a common bin problem, right? You take the age variable and you break it into bins for a histogram. Here's the 18 to 25 group, the 26 to 33 group, and so on. In our case, we want to break up our 100 years in the 20th century into decades. So we'll name our variable decade and select a bin size of 10. Now, when we click OK, we see our new variable appear in our data pane, and it's got that cute little histogram icon. Notice that it's blue, it's not green. That is, it's discrete data with 10 categories. It's not the continuous piece of data that year is. If we create a new sheet, pull decade to row, and pull year onto text, we see the 10-year chunks that aggregate up into a single decade. If we check out the data set itself, we can also see that each record now has a decade. Now, to finish off our 100% stacked bars, we'll just replace the year variable on rows with decade. We'll add occurrences to our tooltips so folks can see the raw number creating the percentages too. And let's tidy up the aesthetics of our tooltips just a bit. Great. And let's hide the decade label and change our x-axis title to % of total Social Security cards. Okay, perfect. We've built all 3 pieces of dashboard 4. It's time to stitch them together with our final step and design our dashboard.